but I guess like maybe I don't mean to sound naive here, but I do want to raise the question. I mean, why do they hate progressivism so much? I dislike cultural progressivism for sure, and I share many of these concerns. But to hate something so much that you would break the state and destroy American institutions in the service of that goal, you must have something that is well beyond dislike. It
Yeah,
has
it's
to
called
be so.
reaction, I think. I
Yeah, yeah,
think
but
it's called
I just wonder
reaction.
where that sentiment comes from. Like, I just don't know how people can summon up that level of political hatred for their enemies, particularly considering that America, for all its faults under Democratic leadership, like you can go about like doing most of what you want to do without fear of persecution. It's still a democracy. You might feel constrained in some ways culturally, but I don't know. We're not living under an authoritarian, like we weren't living under an authoritarian regime. So for them to act as if it was an authoritarian regime that they wanted to destroy and dismantle, it's just very hard for me to relate to that.
I think this just gets back to the main thing that you and I have always argued about, right? Which is that I fundamentally believe in tribalism as the ultimate thing. And I've always found, America quite miraculous how it's managed to tame that. I think you just had some political entrepreneurs that have figured out how to introduce a more lasting tribalism. I don't know how long it lasts
But what's
into
the
our
appeal of
system.
that? Why would
Because it's the
anyone want
most
to
human.
live with that?
Because democracy and tolerance is not human and normal. It requires a level of above the base. And if you can demagogue your way down to the lower, more violent, less elevated thing, I think it's easier, and it's a path to power. And that's really what it comes down to. I think that democracy, and this is always something about, I think, a problem with when you talk about minimal democracy and all of these sorts of things. It's like, oh, well, the people need to be. I think you just need to have like very wise leaders and a kind of like ruling elite that is able to, I think, channel this sort of stuff. Once that breaks down, once you have that kind of like, I'd say, base state of nature, zero-sum attitude, once that's unleashed among people, it's quite natural.